Howdy, this is a tutorial on how to have displayed two images in one file. So we're going to be using today Lightroom Classic and Photoshop, but you can be able to do this in other programs for sure. But we'll be going over how I would go about it. So after we have our selected images, and that this can be as many as we want, but right now we're going to have these two, since it's the same vase, so one from each side. So after we have done our edits, we'll go ahead and have both of these selected. So go ahead and click with Control and get them both selected. And so then we'll want to go ahead and export these. So we'll go ahead and use the key command Control Shift E, bring up this. So I already have the folder selected and what I want it named to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this for later. So we'll go on and scroll down here, and normally under image sizing, this would be clicked off. So we'll go ahead and click this on, and normally also it will be under width and height, so we'll want to click long edge. So we'll want to have the longest edge on this resized to 2000 pixels, which I already have here. That different shows you might want to enter, they only want the file on the longest edge to be 2000 pixels. And over here on resolution, since this is not for print, so we can not have it at the 300 dpi, that's normal for printing, so we'll have it at 72 dpi, which is normal for viewing on the screen. And there's nothing else we need to do, so we'll go ahead and export this. So now we know that the longest side is 2000 pixels, but we don't know what the shorter side is. So we'll go over here and go ahead and click on one of our images here, and then we'll right click or to bring up this menu and go into properties. And then we'll see here general, security, details, and previous versions. So we'll want to click on details. And there we can see that our size for that other side is 1333, which this will depend differently on what aspect you're using on your images, but that is the shorter side on my image. So now that we have that information, we can go over here now into Photoshop, and we'll want to create a new file. And so I already have this, what I need, sized here. So 2666 by 2000. So we'll want to go ahead and click Create down here. And then we'll want to go over to our file where we have our two images here. Drag, click, or to select both and drag them into the image. So we'll go ahead and drag these to the edge. And then click the check mark up here, which will bring up our other image. Drag to that, and then click OK. And then if you wanted to have like a border or something around this, then you would want to figure out how many pixels that will add. And whenever you're making your file system for this image, you'll want to add that into how big the file should be. So now that we have our images where we want them, we'll go up here into the top left to File, and then we'll want to go down to Export, and then Export As. So normally I like to try to crank up the quality here, but we'll want to go over here into image size. So we'll want to take the longest side, which is now the width, and then have that resized to 2000. And you'll see here, it automatically changes this so it stays in the correct aspect. So we'll want to change this under image size and not canvas size, because the canvas size, let me go and click off here. Click on this export as. So I want to show you what happens with the canvas if we want to do it down here. So 2000, take a look at this. So crops in our image, so we don't want that. So we'll go back up here again, and then width 2000. There we go, and just my personal preference. All right, and then we'll go ahead and export, and then I'll go ahead and rename it to that here, and let's name this side by side. There we go. Save. And there we have this here, our images, and then a side by side. So all of them, the longest side is at 2000. So, and that is how to display two images into one file.